Farahany minta Adnan. Before we start, I would like to introduce my friends. This is Farahany, Farrisha, Binti, Sukri, Reika, Harfina, Binti, Azramsyah, and Akkid, Binti, Abdul.
Rest of financial statement analysis ratio. The first one is assessment of past performance and current position. Past performance is often a good indicator of future performance. You know why? An investor or creditor is interested in the trend of past sale expenses, net income, cash flow, and return of investment. This trend offers a mean for judging management past performance and a possible indicator of future performance. The second one is loan decision by financial institutions and banks. Financial statement analysis is used by financial institutions to make loan or credit decisions. In this way, they can make proper allocation of credit among the different borrowers. Next one is tools. Financial statement analysis have various tools that we can use to interpret the financial analysis. The first one is ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is describe the significant relationship which exists between various items of a balance sheet and statement of profit or loss to assess the profitability, solvency, and efficiency of business. And the next one is cash flow analysis. What is cash flow analysis? Cash flow analysis is the difference between inflow and outflow of cash is the net cash flow. Cash flow statement is prepared to project the way the cash has been received and has been utilized during accounting period. It is an important analytical tool. Analysis of cash flow explains the reason for change in cash. It helps in assessing the liquidity of the company and evaluating the operation, investment, and financing decision. Liquidity ratio means financial metric used to determine a debtor's ability to pay off current debt without raising any external capital. Liquidity ratio measures a company's ability to pay debt obligation. Working capital, current asset minus current liability. In LB Aluminium Berhad, we have 52,455,500, and for Pristima Berhad, we have 210,746,000 for their net working capital. Current ratio formula is current asset divided by current liability. In LB Aluminium, we have 1.3 times, and Pristima Berhad we have 4.68 times. In the which is mean LB Aluminium has 1 ringgit 30 cents current asset to pay 1 ringgit current liability, while Pristima Berhad have 4 ringgit 68 cents to pay 1 ringgit current liability.
Asset management ratio is a simple system that helps the company to keep track all of their assets, and it helps the firm to measure how effectively that company is managing its assets in order to generate sales. This ratio also shows us about the efficiency in collecting the debts. This information we can get from the statement of financial position and also statement of profit or loss of the company for that year. For today, I will explain to you guys two ratios of asset management ratios, which are total assets turnover and also days sales outstanding. So I will proceed with total assets turnover first. So in order to calculate this ratio, we need two figures, which are sales and also total assets. Sales figure of LB Aluminium Berhad is 484,367,000 ringgit. And for the total assets, the amount is 456,734,000 ringgit. So When we divided this to amount, we can get the answer as 1.06 times. From this answer, we can know that for every 100 ringgit of total asset, LB Aluminium can generate 106 ringgit of sales. Okay, next is for Perusahaan Sadur Timah Malaysia, Perstima. So, the sales figure for Perstima is 665,572,000 ringgit, and the total asset is 380,584,000 ringgit. So when we divided this to amount, we can get 1.75 times. So based on this answer, we can indicate that for every 100 ringgit of total assets in Perstima, they can generate 175 ringgit of sales. So the total assets turnover ratio shows us the company's ability to generate sales from its assets by comparing the sales figure and also the total assets figure. In other words, this ratio shows how efficiently the company can use its assets to generate the sales. So, in this case, Perstima shows us that they have a better performance than LB Aluminium in using the assets to generate sales. Okay, so for this outstanding ratio, we need two figures, which are account receivable figure and also the sales figure. So for LB Aluminium Berhad, the account receivable figure is 105,127,000 ringgit, while the sales is 484,367 ringgit. So the amount of account receivable divided by sales and times by 365 days, we can get the answer is 81 days. So this is for the LB Aluminium, while for Perstima, the account receivable figure is 82,490,000 ringgit. For the sales is 665,572,000 ringgit. So when we divided this amount and times by 365 days, we can get the days. The answer is 44 days. So this ratio, we can indicate that for LB Aluminium, they take 81 days to collect cash from its credit sales, while Perstima just need 44 days to collect cash from its credit sales. So this is basically shows the efficiency of the companies in collecting their debt.
I want to talk about profitability ratios. Profitability ratios are a part of financial metrics that are used to evaluate a company's abilities to produce profit over time in the relation to its sales, operating expenses, balance sheet asset, or shareholders' equity. Net profit margin is net profit divided by sales. For Perstima Berhad, the net profit is 39,292,000 divided by 665,572,000, and we will get 5.90%. While LB Aluminium Berhad is 4,170,000 divided by 484,367,000, and we will get 0.86%. When compared to LB Aluminium Berhad, Perstima Berhad has a better performance because it has a higher ratio, which means that the company is well managed. Next, I will calculate return on asset. The formula of return on asset is net profit divided by total asset. For Perstima Berhad, the net profit is 39,292,000 divided by 350,584,000, and we will get 11.21%. While LB Aluminium Berhad is 4,170,000 divided by 456,734,000, and we will get 0.91%. So the comment is Perstima Berhad outperformed LB Aluminium Berhad due to his high ratio, which indicates that they are efficient in managing the company's asset to generate earnings.
I would like to present about debt management ratio. Debt management ratio is to measure the firm's ability to repay long-term debt by showing the ratio of a company's assets that are provided through debt. Today, I would like to tell you more about equity ratio and debt ratio. First, equity ratio. Equity ratio is a financial metric that measures the amount of leverage used by a company. To calculate equity ratio, total equity divide total assets. So, for the company LB Aluminium Berhad, the total equity is Rm 262.78 million divided by total assets Rm 456.734 million. So, the equity ratio for LB Aluminium Berhad is 57.38%. While for the company Perstima, the total equity is Rm 290.676 million divided by total assets Rm 350.584 million, and it will get the equity ratio which is 82.91%. So, the equity ratio of the Perstima is higher than LB Aluminium Berhad. To calculate the debt ratio, total liabilities will be divided by total assets. As you can see in the video, the total liabilities divided by total assets in LB Aluminium Berhad will get the debt ratio which is 42.62%. And for Perstima, it will get 17.09%. So, LB Aluminium Berhad has greater risk than Perstima as its debt ratio is higher than Perstima.
Market value analysis are used to evaluate the current share price of public held company stock. These ratios are employed by current and potential investors to determine whether a company is overpriced or underpriced. In market value ratio, we have earning per share. Earning per share for LB Aluminium, we got 0.016 per share, and Perstima Berhad we got 0.4 per share. It means that Perstima Berhad have higher earning per share rather than LB Aluminium Berhad.
First, I would like to tell the comparison about the net working capital for LB Aluminium Berhad and Perstima. Both companies have positive net working capital, but still Perstima is better as its ratio is higher than LB Alum. Next is the current ratio. Every RM1 of current liabilities in LB Alum, it has RM1.30 of current asset, while for Perstima, every RM1 of current liabilities have RM4.68 current asset. It shows that Perstima is better than LB Alum. Is debt management ratio. We have equity ratio and debt ratio. So, the equity ratio for Perstima is higher than LB Alum. The shareholders in Perstima have provided enough funds to purchase the assets of the company instead of relying on other sources. Next is debt ratio. So Perstima have won again, as it will be easier for Perstima to get loan as it has less risk, as we can see in the debt ratio, which Perstima has lower ratio than the LB Alum. Next is the profitability ratio. First of all is net profit margin. LB Aluminium Berhad get 0.86%, while Perstima gets 5.90%. It means Perstima has a higher ratio, so it means that the company is well managed. Next is return on assets. LB Aluminium Berhad gets 0.91% for the return on assets, while Perstima gets 11.21% for the return on assets. So, in this case, the Perstima has outperformed the LB Aluminium Berhad due to its high ratio. It indicates that the company is efficient in managing all the assets to generate the earnings. So, next is asset management ratio. As you can see in the slide, the days sales outstanding for the LB Aluminium Berhad is higher than Perstima. So, for this ratio, the shorter time is better. Last but not least, in asset management ratio, we have total assets turnover. So it shows that Perstima has a good and better performance than LB Alum, as the ratio for the Perstima is higher than ratio for LB Alum. Last but not least is the market value ratio. It has earnings per share. The shareholders of Perstima will be receive more earnings than the LB Aluminium Berhad, as the earnings per share for the Perstima is 0.3957 ringgit per shares, while the LB Aluminium Berhad will get 0.01645 ringgit per shares.
Industry average ratio. So for net profit margin, the industry average ratio is 1.62%, and LB Alum got 5.9%, while Perstima just got 0.86%. So, which company has a better performance? The answer is LB Aluminium Berhad. Why? Because in this net profit margin ratio, the higher the ratio, the better the performance of the company. The industry average ratio for total assets turnover is 0.86 times, and LB Aluminium got 1.06 times, while the Perstima got 1.75 times. So which company has a better performance? The answer is Perstima. Why? Because total assets turnover ratio indicates based on the higher the ratio is the better the company's performance, because this ratio measures the company's ability to generate sales from its total assets.
Next is return on asset. Return on asset for industry average ratio is 1.39%. Return on asset for LB Aluminium is 11.21%, while Perstima Berhad is 0.91%, which is indicate that the higher the ratio, the better performance of the company. This ratio shows the profitability of a business in relation to its asset. So, in this case, LB Aluminium have greater ratio than Perstima Berhad in return on asset. Return on equity. Return on equity for industry average is 2.65%, while in LB Aluminium have 13.52% and Perstima have 1.59%. This return on equity ratio show the common equity investor receive on their investment. In that way, LB Aluminium have higher ratio on return on equity, which means the higher ratio, the better performance on return on equity.
Comparison of cash flow. The first step that we need to find is net cash from operating, financing and investing for both of company. The first one is cash flow from operation. For Perstima Berhad, the cash flow from operation is RM12,571,000, while LB Aluminium Berhad is RM28,187,000. So my comment is LB Aluminium Berhad has a higher in cash flow from operating than Perstima Berhad, indicating that the company is effective in its core market. Next is cash flow from investing. For Perstima Berhad, the cash flow from investing is negative RM40,884,000, while LB Aluminium Berhad is negative 34,955,000. So my comment is, in this cash flow from investing show that none of the company has better performance in investing, but as can see, Perstima Berhad has better performance compared to LB Aluminium Berhad. It shows that Perstima Berhad know how to generate cash from investing activities. Last but not least is cash flow from financing. For Perstima Berhad, the cash flow from financing is RM36,492,000, while LB Aluminium Berhad is RM13,510,000. So, Perstima Berhad has a higher cash flow than LB Aluminium Berhad. It demonstrates that the financial strength and capital structure of Perstima Berhad are managed and well handled.
Explain to you guys for two limitations only, which are historical and also manipulations of financial statement. Okay, so for historical, all the information used in calculating the ratio analysis is derived from actual historical results. So, therefore, the ratio analysis metrics do not necessarily represent future company performance. However, it can be used to compare historical results for consistency. Next is manipulations of financial statement. Like I have mentioned before about the historical. So basically the historical part is taking the figure from the statement of financial position of the company. So the next limitations is manipulations of financial statement. So the information in a financial statement may be manipulated by the company's management. Why? Because they want to report a better result than its actual performance. So, this will show that the ratio analysis may not accurately reflect the true nature of the business, as the misrepresentations of the information is not deducted by the simple analysis.
In conclusion, ratio analysis gives company overview about their performance. The objective running an analysis is not only to know performance of company, but to upgrade and fix how the company lack. Knowing where and how can the company improve their management and other things as well.